Hi, welcome. I am Heidi Coulombe, and I am your child's first grade teacher this year. I would like to begin by saying thank you to all the parents and everything that you have been doing. Distance learning is a very difficult process. We're all learning new things, and I just want to say thank you to the parents for really trying to make their child's learning a success. I have a lot of messages and emails coming in daily of how to log in and passwords, and everybody's trying to figure these things out, and that is wonderful. So I just want to say thank you to you and all that you are doing for your children. So I want to start by sharing a PowerPoint with you. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is welcome to first grade, Mrs. Coulombe's class. I want to start by talking about absences. So students must be present for synchronous or asynchronous activities each day to be considered present at school. So a synchronous activity are Zoom meetings where we're all learning together. We're all doing the same thing. An asynchronous activity would be considered the classwork or homework, something that they're doing independently. So for absences, for example, if a student cannot make it to a Zoom meeting, but you're able to complete the daily classwork, you are marked present for that day. If a student is present for a Zoom meeting, but does not complete any classwork that day, they are still considered present. If a child misses a daily Zoom meeting and does not complete any classwork for that day, the student is marked absent. Classwork. So all classwork is mandatory. All classwork for the week must be completed by the following Sunday of that week. I will always accept late work, although it might only be for partial credit, but I would rather students turn in late work than no work at all. If I assign a math test or some sort of assessment, please do not help them too much or give them the answers. You can guide them in understanding what the question is asking, but the students need to answer the questions on their own. Tests and assessments are meant to evaluate a student's learning, and it tells me if the concepts that I've taught or any specific information needs to be retaught. Zoom rules for students. So these are the rules that I share with students and I expect them to follow during our Zoom meetings. Be on time. If you're not on time, you might miss some learning. Find a quiet place, somewhere away from any noise or distractions. No food or drinks. So I ask the students to please eat breakfast before the Zoom meeting. No toys, because Zoom meetings are for learning and not for playing. Keep your camera on. I would like to see who is present each day and who is following our respectful listening rules. Please raise your hand if you have a question or you have an answer or a comment, and listen to the speaker. So whoever is speaking, be it me, the teacher, or a classmate, students need to be listening. Respectful Zoom listener. So as a class, the students and I created a poster. The poster are the expectations that I expect them to follow during a Zoom meeting. So we said that a respectful listener sits quietly. A respectful Zoom listener looks at the screen. That way I know that they're paying attention and they're listening. A respectful Zoom listener looks at the speaker. Also, another way of showing me that they are paying attention and listening. A respectful Zoom listener raises a quiet hand. We don't all want to be shouting out and asking questions at the same time, and I won't be able to hear people. A respectful Zoom listener keeps their camera on. A respectful Zoom listener sits up straight and does not lay down. So I've been having students laying down, some of them closing their eyes, looks like they're napping, and I want to make sure that they're awake and they're sitting up and they're all paying attention and learning. So here are some Zoom supports for parents. Please make sure your child is awake, they eat, and use the bathroom before Zoom meetings. You will not need to stay right next to your child during the class time, but as long as you're close and there for technical support if you're needed. Your student also may have tasks to complete right after the meeting, so please help and encourage them to do their work, but let them work independently as much as possible. Make sure your child has all the materials they need for the class within their reach. I have not passed out materials yet, but I will be soon. You'll be coming to the school to pick them up. So please make sure whatever they need for that Zoom meeting will be close to them. Be aware that the camera and microphone are on during our meetings. So most of the time, students have their microphones on so I can quickly hear answers to questions or comments. I did hear last week a parent said inappropriate word in the background during our Zoom meetings. So I just want everybody to be aware that those microphones are on and everyone on the Zoom meeting is hearing what is being said in your household. Please set up regular break times during independent work for them to eat and to get some exercise or move around. Your child also will need help logging on, so please assist them as needed. And be sure that your child is in a quiet, distraction-free space and wearing appropriate clothing. So next we're going to talk about academics. So for math, our current math adoption by the district is Pearson Realize, and math most likely will begin the week of August 31st. I'm still waiting for more materials to arrive, and as soon as they do, I'll be asking you to stop by the school and pick those materials up. I will also be adding another Zoom meeting to our day from 12:30 to 1 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. This will be our designated math time. For language arts, our current language arts program, which teaches reading and writing, is Benchmark. This program also incorporates a little bit of science and social studies as well. Through the language arts program, students will be learning 124 first grade sight words. I will introduce 5 words each week for the extent of the school year. Please practice these words at home. I've already sent out a list of these sight words, so if you have a printer, if you can print them out, or just be able to download them and pull them up when it's time for your child to practice. And making flashcards is also another great way to practice the sight words. Zoom meeting login. So every Sunday night, I'm going to send out a Zoom login link for our 9 o'clock morning meetings. The login will be the same for each day of that week, and the password will always be Tigers. When math begins, I will also send out a different login link for that week as well. So for every math Zoom for that week, we'll have the same link, the same meeting ID and password. Student login. Each student has their own student email, username, and password, which must be used to log into the Chromebooks, the San Juan portal, and Google Classroom. If you need your child's student email, username, or password, please email me at hcoulombe@sanjuan.edu or message me on the Class Dojo app or the Remind app. Contacting the teacher. So there's 3 different ways you can contact me. You can email me, you can message me on Class Dojo, or message me on Remind. If you're not connected to the apps yet, please let me know and I will send you an invitation to join. I usually have my computer or my phone near me at all times, and I try really hard to get back to parents in a timely manner. And also feel free to contact me on the weekends if you have questions. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. And on weeknights, I do try to get to bed by 9 o'clock. So if you do message me or email me after 9 o'clock, I may not get back to you until the next morning. So a lot of parents ask me, when my student's done with their classwork and Zoom meetings are over, what can my student work on at home? So here's some things that your child can work on at home in their free time. So you can always practice sight words. Number recognitions. First graders need to be identifying numbers between 1 and 120. This is usually done out of order. So if you give them a 120s chart, it's easy for them to recognize the numbers when they're in order, but making flashcards of each number and mixing them up and then asking them to identify the numbers that way is a much better idea. Writing numbers. Students must be able to write numbers from 1 to 120 by the end of first grade. Math facts to 10. So practicing their addition facts using numbers up to 10. So here's a few examples. 1 plus 3 equals 4, 5 plus 2 equals 7, 10 plus 0 equals 10, and so on. I will also send you a math facts sheet that if you have a printer, you can print out, or you can even just download and look at from the computer, and students can practice that way. Writing a complete sentence is also a good thing to practice. Make sure they're using a capital at the beginning of their sentence, finger spaces between each word, and a period at the end of the sentence. Counting to 120. We do this every day in our Zoom meeting, but it's also, if they're not counting to 120 yet, practicing that at home is great. Skip counting by 10s, 5s, and 2s. I did send parents a 120s chart so they can use that to help them skip count by 10s, 5s, and 2s. Reading, whether they're reading on their own or maybe that someone else reads to them, is great. Also, after they read or you read to them or a sibling reads to them, discuss the characters, who was in the story. Discuss the setting. Where did the story take place? Where were the characters? Discuss the problem in the story and the solution. How was the problem fixed? Sound spelling is also a good thing to practice. So parents can say a CVC word, which is a consonant, vowel, consonant word, like dog, cat, big, can, leg, mop, and have the students write it. So they listen to the sounds that they hear and they write the word. So that is the information that I have for you today. So if you have any questions, please message me or email me. And I will be doing a Zoom meeting on Monday, the 31st at 6 o'clock. If you have any additional questions, if you can't join the Zoom meeting, you can always just message me, send me an email, and I will answer your questions as quickly as I can. Okay? Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon.